Hey guys, what's going on? It's Dan, and I am back with another week in the VBA. This week we are going up against Ryan and the Springfield Spoinks. So looking at the matchup, I see a lot of what I expected, although no Gyarados or Salamence, and I thought having one of them for Intimidate was likely going to be in his plans. I'm going with a fast mode this week, including Stony-J's first match. So, seeing what he has, my Crobat lead seems very safe, but it's also very, very soft to Arctozolt leads. So I do want to have the option to fake out an Arctozolt if it comes out. So I'm going to be setting up a very passive lead, and then hopefully being able to get in my big hitters in Nidoking and Marowak in the late game. Looking at his team, the Arctozolt is a big problem. Mandibuzz can likely 1v1 anything except for Nidoking on my team. And even then, if it starts getting some Snarls rolling, it might have a shot if it's got Snarl Roost. But yeah, let's go ahead and just hop right into the battle. So those are going to be two of my primary targets, are the Arctozolt and Mandibuzz. And we see a Ninetales Nidoqueen lead here. And I am able to get out the Crobat and the Liepard. So because I know I'm Yachi Berry on the Crobat, and I also know that Ryan has a tendency to enjoy setting Aurora Veil early or clicking Blizzard, Stony-J seems to counteract both those moves effectively, and then I can fake out the Nidoqueen to make sure that Crobat will have the ability to set Tailwind next turn if I want it. Because Crobat will still outspeed them even without being under Tailwind, so it'll give me one more turn of Tailwind, and it'll force Ninetales switches. On his side, I'm expecting either Aurora Veil or Blizzard, like I said, and then this Nidoqueen's going to get faked out, but I think it's going to probably be going for Thunderbolt or Ice Beam into the Crobat. My guess would be Ice Beam, but it flinches before Crobat moves, so I know that this Nidoqueen is Scarf. So that changes my perspective and will affect how I play in future games as well. I do stop the Aurora Veil, but this is not a safe play because if he does just go for an Ice-type move into the Crobat, the Nidoqueen will kill it before I can get up Tailwind, so actually I'll need to reverse the order and Tailwind before I Sunny-Day in the future if I still want to keep the Sunny-Day up. So Snarl seems like a safe play here. I sort of want to see what this Nidoqueen is going to lock itself into, but I do want to get up a Tailwind as well. Thunderwaving the Ninetales is interesting, but I think Snarl is just overall going to be a much better play for me. And it locks itself in the Thunderbolt, which, considering I've got a ground type in the back and something that may or may not have Lightning Rod, seems like a semi-risky play, because I'm able to just Snarl up. But it does end up working for him here. Then the Icy one comes out. Crobat avoids, so he doesn't quite see the Yachi Berry on it yet. That probably wouldn't have killed even without it, so it just saves me a little bit of information reveal. But here, a hard switch into Nidoking seems correct. I guess I could also U-turn for some chip because I will still be outspeeding that Nidoqueen. Either way really would work, but to make sure that I maintain a long-term speed advantage over this Ninetales, I'm going to just Thunder Wave it. But the Ninetales does go back, bringing up Mandibuzz, so I will reveal that I am not Prankster here because I will be able to affect this Mandibuzz still. But with him being locked into Thunderbolt, I assume it's going with the Crobat slot. I am okay with this current setup. So here I have to decide if the Nidoqueen or the Mandibuzz is a bigger target for me. I think, unless it's the most specially bulky set he could run and then has some sort of healing, like a Leftovers or a Berry, or an Electric Resist Berry, Thunderbolt should be a 2-hit KO into this Mandibuzz. And I think it has some long-term issues that I could deal with, but he's going to get up a pretty free Tailwind here, which is less than ideal for me. So here I just sort of want to limit the effectiveness of his other options, and I'll get my Thunderbolt out, And it will be to a KO. That range, I don't know if he's got much special bulk, but he's going to have some, which means he's also going to have some physical bulk, which will come into effect for later calculations. Thunderbolt comes out into the Lipard. I eat that all day. And Tailwind comes on out. So, at this point, I actually don't love the way everything looks. Because I'm going to have to Thunderbolt into the Mandibuzz or take out the Nidoqueen, and it's possible that I prioritized the wrong thing. Here, I actually think Thunderbolting the Mandibuzz is probably better, because he could switch the Nidoqueen. Because the Nidoqueen's pretty crippled, I should say. He might be switching one of them, and I could try and call the switch. In fact, if I'm him, I am going to try and switch, but I don't really want to try to call a switch here. Thunderbolt comes again into Lipard, deals a decent chunk. Earth Power will take out the Nidoqueen, and I think that was probably a mistake. Mandibuzz should have been the priority target there based on what I have in the back. But here I don't think that the Mandibuzz is going to be doing much of anything. And I'm sort of in a bad position for a late game here because I've just let the Mandibuzz roost up. He will have back weather control and he's got speed control. And assuming Arctozolt is in the back, I'm in a rough spot here because I need to get Tailwind up with Crobat, but now his team will outspeed the Crobat in multiple ways, and I don't have Fake Out pressure to get up Tailwind if the Arctozolt comes on out. So yeah, this game is in a very, very rough position for me, even though I've got all 4 Pokemon still. I've got to find the right way to sack things down. And if I can't do that, I kind of lose. So I'm just going to try and stall a turn of Tailwind and maybe get a Thunder Wave on the Ninetales and try and get some speed control options this way. But I kind of just expect Lipard to go down here. And I'm just going to be playing very defensive. I have to play very defensively to try and get Crobat in at neutral speed without Arctozolt on the field. And that's my only win con, is to do that and have enough HP on Nidoking and Marowak that I can win that way. But that doesn't feel like a super winning situation for me. So here I take a considerable amount of time thinking through game plans, because do I want to put out Marowak and switch into Crobat, or do I want to just go straight for Crobat and switch into Marowak, then let Nidoking go down and get Crobat in that way? Or do I want Marowak out, thinking the Mandibuzz might not have foul play, then I let the Nidoking go down, and the Marowak gets one attack off before I get the Crobat in. But here I decide the most likely play is that he will, in fact, have foul play. So I'm going to be going for either a double or try and make a read into a switch, or just try and take out the Ninetales or Mandibuzz, like getting chip on it. Because at this range I don't think I'd kill the Mandibuzz with the Marrow even if I've got the speed advantage. So what I'm going to do here is try to stall one more turn of Tailwind with this switch, because if I can get this switch to stall one more turn of Tailwind, then I should be fine, especially if the Nidoking goes down here. But he does withdraw the Mandibuzz to the Arctozolt, so if I had Earth Powered that slot, that would have been a read amongst reads. But Blizzard's going to come on out. It will not quite kill the Nidoking, but I do come very close, and I Thunderbolt that slot. So an Earth Power there might have picked up the KO and would have put me in decent position, but I didn't call that switch. Nidoking has not gone down, so I don't just get the free Crobat switch in. and at this point I'm pretty sure I lose. My win con here is for him to miss target, thinking I'm going to protect the Nidoking or the Marowak, and to pick up a KO. But even then, I don't like my odds. I think here the optimal play is to Earth Power the Arctozolt in case that's the one he, for some reason, doesn't target. And then just see if I can get something with this Ninetales. But he does, of course, just make a very clean play with a KO of the Marowak with the Arctozolt. And revealing Life Orb, which is important for later calculations. And then he will get up a Blizzard, which I don't know if that was a roll, but it did 3 damage to a Nidoking. So, yeah, obvious kill. And then Crobat can't do anything here. So I don't want to reveal any new moves, so I'm just going to click Tailwind or Sunny-Day and let this Arctozolt kill me. And he's going to take game 1. So I'll let this last turn play out, and I will be right back with game 2. So, moving into game 2, I know I've got to make a change in my approach. I think I still have to lead Liepard to respect the possibility that Arctozolt just is the lead. But I could lead Liepard in offense, or Liepard and Crobat again. I know if I lead Liepard Crobat again and he goes with a similar lead, I need Tailwind first. But I consider an Indeedee Liepard lead because that would threaten the Nidoqueen much more efficiently. But again, that doesn't feel great in the face of Arctozolt Ninetales. Whereas Liepard Crobat does feel good against Arctozolt Ninetales. And it seems decent against Ninetales and Nidoqueen again. But I'm going to bring Stonejourner, or as he's affectionately known as Stony-J in the back, along with Marowak. Power Spot calcs are nutty. I'll pick up the KO on anything I want to pick the KO up on. Which is always nice to know that you can get any KO that you want. Unlike my opponent, I also accepted his league card earlier, because I know Ryan doesn't take league cards, but I will force him to take mine at some point. So moving into the battle, we've got Liepard and Crobat against Nidoqueen and Ninetales. So I know the play here is just obvious. Fake out Tailwind, eat a Blizzard, and go from there. I could fake out the Ninetales here because I know I eat a Thunderbolt, and I'm okay with him walking into Thunderbolt. But I eat a Blizzard much better because of the Wakan Berry. And I sort of expect him to go for Aurora Veil here, but since I Sunny Day'd, it might be a harder read for him. He does just Blizzard, so I will be able to Sunny Day next turn if I want to, or I'll be able to get some kind of switch if I want to, but now I've got good speed advantage. Liepard takes a chunk from that, and here I need to Snarl, likely, and decide how to proceed at this point. So Snarl comes on out, and I'm going to Sunny Day. Just to force him to have to position the Ninetales better. I don't know if Sunny Day is the best option, but I do sort of expect him to go for Aurora Veil at this point, since I left it alone last turn. And just not letting him set up an immediate dual screen is... It's nice, I'm not gonna lie. It's very nice. So I will get the Snarl up. Either of his options are going to be great, and I can see what this Nidoqueen locks into. Honestly, based on what I could have in the back, I wouldn't be surprised if it locked into Earth Power, but instead it locks into Icy Wind. And it's sheer force, so my speed doesn't fall. And suddenly I feel like I'm in a great position, even though it looks like I'm behind. Because I can Snarl up, I can taunt into the Ninetales, which I assume is going to switch into Mandibuzz again, and then it should just be advantage me because he won't be able to match Tailwind. Yep, he makes the same play as last time, switches into the Mandibuzz, I get the taunt off. His entire team is shiny. Shiny Mandibuzz is terrifying. So I will get another Snarl off. This Nidoqueen is going to be doing nothing with -2 Icy Wind, even though it is Sheer Force boosted. I'm very okay with that particular attacking one that comes out since it doesn't affect my speed. And then I can get Crobat out pretty safely into something much more offensive. I'm thinking chip damage from U-turn is better than a hard switch because, well, Crobat's going to be going first, so it's not like I'm going to be taking any damage next turn. I've only got one more turn of Tailwind, so I kind of want to get Crobat back in as well. So if I can let this Liepard go down and U-turn. I'm not sure if Foul Play to the Nidoqueen's the best option, but it does provide the most potential damage. If he does double switch, I think Arctozolt might go into that slot. So the Ninetales comes on out, he gets Weather Control again. And I will get a Foul Play off. And a U-turn. U-turn into Ninetales, obviously not going to be doing a lot. But I will just be able to get in Marowak, which I don't care about taking Icy Wind with, because he's locked into it. I'm not threatened by a Ground-type move. So Marowak's going to be able to launch an attack next turn. I will Foul Play the Nido. Nido will get Icy Wind off, which combined with Hail damage should be enough to kill the Liepard. Snarl there, also not a horrible choice, but I was nervous that Snarl might have taken Liepard out of range of dying, and here I actually want Liepard to die so I can get in the Crobat for free. And I think Foul Play does a little more chip even if he is min-attack on that Nidoqueen as he should be. But here I get a Tailwind up. The Nidoqueen's Icy Wind, because it doesn't drop speed, isn't going to matter. And then once Tailwind is up, Marowak is going to outspeed the Ninetales, and this is a lot of damage. This is about to be a lot of damage. Tailwind comes on out. Fast Marowak outspeeds Ninetales under Tailwind, and hit it with the Bone Club. Marowak calcs are really quite nutty. I'll share one when it gets to it, but man, Marowak can do so much damage. So this next turn, I've got some decisions to make. I know that there's likely some physical bulk in this Mandibuzz as well. And it probably has Foul Play. So I think my play here is Stony-J Flare Blitz, which, depending on the physical bulk level at this HP range, could kill, but also might not. But it will put it in range where everything just dies to Nidoking in the back, and the Arctozolt won't have speed advantage, and the Nidoqueen is at a point with Icy Wind where it's not going to be doing anything. So his ideal play here is probably to Foul Play the Marowak and switch the Nidoqueen into Arctozolt to reset Scarf on the Nidoqueen, but even then Nidoking will be able to KO it, but then he'll have two threats out, and if the Arctozolt can KO the Nidoking, then maybe that's the play for him. But he keeps the Nidoqueen in, which should lock up the game for me, because even if he does Foul Play this turn, if I don't kill it with a Flare Blitz, I just kill things one at a time with Nidoking, and he can't stop me from doing it. Because if that Foul Play had come out, Nidoking comes in, and then I Earth Power the Nidoqueen slot. Oh, and I've still got, sorry, not Nidoking, Stonejourner. And I I Rock Slide, and then yeah, it's Rock Slide here. But Rock Slide, super obvious play even if he switches. And then I pick up 2 KOs. I pick up a KO and Mana Buzz with that, and if he switches, the Flare Blitz picks up the KO on the Nidoqueen. The safer target is into the Nidoqueen spot because I don't know if this Mana Buzz is Protect, but I know the Nidoqueen is Scarf. And I don't want to just accidentally waste a Flare Blitz and do a Protecting Mon if he switches, because that's his out here. He doesn't know that I'm Sash, so Nidoqueen will not pick up the one-shot on it. So this is a completely safe endgame for me, even though I've been saying Nidoking instead of Stonejourner the whole time. Because it can just eats 2 attacks all the time. So Flare Blitz comes out. And now my win con is just not missing with one of these two, so I use 2 100% accuracy moves into the Nidoqueen. Stomping Tantrum will be the one to pick up the kill because Stonejourner's faster, and Stonejourner can't die no matter what you hit it with because Focus Sash. You really need that when you've got 25% HP. But, oh, the calc I was talking about, into that Arctozolt with Power Spot, In the Sun, Thick Club, Adamant, 252 Marowak, using Flare Blitz is about 430 to 480% damage. Some might call that substantial. But I will pick up Game 2 and then reevaluate my plan before moving into Game 3. Game 3 time. So, even though I won the last game and Stonejourner looked like it was pretty well positioned, he's shown this Nidoqueen lead quite a lot, and I kind of want to just outspeed it from the jump. So Indeedee Liepard seems very, very decent to me, because this is a max physical bulk Indeedee, so I eat Icicle Crashes, and because I've shown a willingness to switch Nidoking into electric type attacks, I don't know if he goes for Bolt Beaks too consistently with it. So yeah, this will be an interesting Game 3 play, because I'm going to go with the Indeedee Liepard, and I know I need the Marowak, and now I need to decide, is Stonejourner or Nidoking a better option? And I am going to go with the Nidoking. I actually briefly consider Stonejourner over Marowak as well, because Wide Guard just shuts down so much of his stuff. Rock Slide hits a lot, and it has a decent matchup. But I feel like I need the Marowak in case he does bring that Soul Rock, because it's my option that it hits it pretty well. So, moving into the game, he is going to lead with Ninetales Mana Buzz, and I hate everything. Yeah, this is a horrible lead matchup for me. Because this Indeedee does not have much offensive investment at all. So he's going to try and outbulk me, and I'm going to try and outbulk him, and we are going to have a long game, considering how especially offensive his team is. Snarl and Psychic Seed Liepard is going to be doing some work, so I'm just going to start getting some Snarls off, and then, I don't know, get a little bit of chip with Dazzling Gleam. It's not going to do a lot. Yeah, so this is a lot for what's about to happen. I'm going to Snarl. Not going to do much at all. Get the special attacks down. Let the Aurora Veil go up. And now we're playing a bulky game. Yeah, so this is going to be a very bulky game because Tailwind comes on out. So I'm just gonna keep clicking Snarl and dare him to do something to beat it. Thunderwave into the Ninetales also doesn't seem like a bad option, because if I can just start Thunderwaving stuff, even though I don't have the Crobat, late game I will have speed control. But this game plan is going to be Snarl.game for most of it, because I don't see myself losing my Psychic Seed buff on the Liepard. I consider just hard switching the Indeedee into something, but if I'm going to Thunderwave, I'll do that Snarl before the hard switch, and just get another bit of Dazzling Gleam chip out. At some point, I probably need to switch to Expanding Force, even though it will only hit one side, and work on getting some chip that way. So, Speed's going to fall, which isn't a huge thing for this Liepard, because I'm going to Thunder Wave, and it's already effectively +2, so it goes to effectively +1. Indeed, he starts getting snarled. We're going to be losing some special attack. Dazzling Gleam, I'm going to see do nothing. So I'm just going to start switching to Expanding Force to let to get some more single target damage, because it will do considerably more than Dazzling Gleam into that Ninetales slot. I will Snarl or Thunder Wave again this turn. If I Thunder Wave the Mandibuzz, then I can work on starting to, I don't know, build my late game speed advantage. But here, out comes Arctozolt. So I'm happy I Expanding Force. This will give me a little bit of more damage on it, and because I know it's Life Wave and I assume it's 252 Adamant, this chip from Expanding Force should, with a bit of Life Wave recoil, be enough. He does get a crit there, which definitely puts me into range. So, I died at basically a gust of wind from this Arctozolt, even at 252. But my chip should have been enough to put it into foul play range, but I do get a crit, so it definitely puts it into foul play range. It's still going to be faster than the Liepard, because the Liepard is -1, but I need to foul play this turn into that slot and follow me. So was that crit fortunate for me? Yes, but I did a few calcs afterwards, not knowing the set. I obviously couldn't do super specific ones, but there is a chance that crit mattered, but there's also a chance that if it's 252 Adamant, without a lot of bulk, that the Expanding Force plus this Life Orb chip would have put it into range for this foul play anyway, even without that crit. So, tough to tell. Icicle Crash will hit and take down the Indeedee, and then Foul Play will take down the Arctozolt, and we're ready to start grinding. Foul Play comes on out, Arctozolt goes down, and now the Mandibuzz being paralyzed isn't a huge deal there. I mean, of course it's unfortunate, but he's going to have a lot of paralysis on his team, so you should expect about a quarter of the turns between Mandibuzz and Ninetales total to be paralyzed. Nidoqueen comes on out, and okay, so paralyzed Ninetales in the back. Here's my win con. I need to get 2 Snarls on this Nidoqueen, because with 2 Snarls, it will only do about 60% to my Nidoking, which will leave me about 40% HP, which means that if I can get 2 or 3 Snarls on the Ninetales, I'll be set up in a really good late game position. 1 Snarl will let me survive, but I really want to get 2 Snarls on it, so I'm going to protect first. Get my first Snarl out. Because it doesn't have Life Orb, it doesn't KO at 1 Snarl, but Earth Power, yep. So I know I can, I could have attacked into the Nidoqueen that turn and been fine, but obviously not the best play. And then Liepard is going to be able to Snarl again, because there's no Hail Chip. And his Aurora Veil is off, which I don't think would have saved him if I attacked into him, but that's another reason to protect, obviously. But here I definitely need to click Snarl again, because like I said, if I get the second Snarl on, this will only do about 60% with an Earth Power, and I'm in great late game position because I will be able to cycle through some stuff to get a lot of Snarls on the Ninetales, and then Nidoking will be able to explain it better. I switch, I get this KO here, I'm at 60%, but Nidoqueen avoids, so this really throws off my math. The plan was get the KO here, get down to about 40%, switch out into Marowak. Marowak comes out and will outspeed the Mandibuzz unless it sets Tailwind right here. And if it sets Tailwind, it's an entirely different ball game. But I can just get Snarl after Snarl after Snarl out while I let Marowak go down to with this Tailwind. So how it would work is Marowak goes down to Foul Play next turn, and I get one Snarl on the Ninetales. Then I get a second Snarl on the Ninetales while I protect the Nidoking. Then I get the third Snarl on the Ninetales, and if I'm at 40% HP, I live a Blizzard, and then I just pick up 2 KOs with the Nidoking. However, because I only have one Snarl hit, that plan doesn't work because I can't survive a Blizzard even if I get him to -3. So, new plan, I need to stall his Tailwind, and along with stalling the Tailwind, I need to have one of 3 things happen. I need to get a double protect with Nidoking here to stall the Tailwind, or I need to send out Marowak and get a protect and get a full para on Mandibuzz that turn, or after Marrow goes down, I need to get a full para on the Ninetales the turn after Tailwind ends with Nidoking to let me get 2 KOs. So overall, or this thing could just also just not have Foul Play. So overall, I'd say there's a 90% chance it has Foul Play, and each of those full paras has a 25% chance of happening the turn that I need it to happen. So my odds are pretty close to 50-50 in this game, but that's the odd I'm playing for. So I will get another Snarl off, which at this point is going to be negligible, but it's Chip. And it will also help protect this Marowak from a Blizzard, which isn't going to do a lot, but could do, a little bit. So that Snarl miss was huge for me and really makes me have a 50-50 endgame where I need to get a full para on one of 2 crucial turns, because I assume this Mandibuzz has Foul Play. This is not the crucial turn, and I got double full para, so it's a feels bad moment for him and for me, because I could have just attacked that turn, but I mean, I'm not expecting double full para, and I need to stall the Tailwind. So here, I need the full para on the Mandibuzz. This is the first of my potential win con turns, is either Mandibuzz doesn't have full play or Foul Play, or I need the full para on the Mandibuzz, because then Flare Blitz picks up the Ninetales, and I win that way. It's his last turn of Tailwind, so I will have the speed advantage with Nidoking starting next turn. I consider a Rock Slide there, but I do go for the Rock Slide there to make sure that everything is in range next turn. Because I still think this picks up the Ninetales, and it'll put the chip on the Mandibuzz that I need. Ninetales gets its Blizzard off. I go down to Foul Play most likely here. Liepard is an absolute tank, and I get my full para that I need. So I win if this Rock Slide hits. And it does. Great. So, yeah, I just win at this point. Liepard goes down to Hail. Liepard snarled so many times that game. It was an absolute MVP for me that game. PokeCenter, if you're watching this, no matter what the kills say, Liepard was the MVP of that game. And then Nidoking will just be able to pick up the KO on this Mandibuzz. And even if it doesn't, because it has Protect and it Hail stalls the Nidoking. It can't Hail stall the Marowak, and Flare Blitz KOs from this range. So yeah, good games to Ryan. There were a little bit of hacks on both sides this set, but I think they mattered just about evenly. The Mandibus will go down, and we'll move to 4-1 in the VBA this season. Having a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to next week, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.